My name is Lisa Snyder. I lost both of my parents to cancer when I was in my 20s. I lost my dad to Hodgkin's disease lymphoma the day before my 23rd birthday, and my mom 5 years later to leukemia. Looking back on the feelings and thoughts that I had during that time period, I was absolutely devastated, no idea what I was going to do without my dad, who loved me like nobody else. And I just tried the best I could to prepare for the worst when I knew that he wasn't going to be here anymore. So I wrote him a letter thanking him for all the things that he did for me in my life as best I could fit in a letter. And I read it to him, and I actually was there for his transition, and I was convinced that even though he wasn't there physically anymore, I knew that he was somewhere else. That was pretty fun. And I was determined to learn more about that through near-death experience books and other things like that. With my mom, I actually got information from my dad in a spirit form, which had never happened to me before. And he said, you need to spend more time with your mom because you're not sure how much longer she's going to be here. And so I took that very seriously. And then 3 weeks later, she was diagnosed with leukemia. And when I knew that that prediction was true, that it's possible that she might not be here anymore, I was very lost, frightened, confused, and I knew that I would have to really be there for myself during this transition and be there for her. And so we watched movies together. I also wrote her a letter, and I was definitely there during her transition. I watched her last breath, and losing my parents has been the absolute hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my entire life. And we're all going to have to go through that at some point. Some of us have already done it, and I did it earlier than a lot of people. The first steps that I took towards healing were to move both times, and I went to therapy, and I found some grief groups, and I really found art actually as a way of expressing myself, because it was a way to just move through stuff without having to say anything to anybody, and it was very healing for me. Looking back, the only thing I think I would change about the way that I tried to do the work is that I felt very jealous of people who had their families, and I didn't realize that I still had family, and it just had to go through a period of change. I had my brother, I had my niece and my nephew, I have my dad's side of the family. I have chosen family and friends that I have grown to love and are my family now. And so, there's nothing I could do about the jealousy feelings, but I definitely acted differently towards people who had something I didn't have, and I would change that. The advice that I would give you is try and work through as many feelings as you can when they come up. Do it alone or with other people, however you work through stuff. Art, writing, that's what I do with my blog, Losing Your Parents. Anytime something comes up, I just talk about it on there, and I just find people that I feel safe talking to. And that could be a therapist, that could be friends, that could be family. Just try and do the work as best you can to move through this time in your life. Thanks.